Hello everyone, Neil Byer here, and I am here with Shantelle Nalley, the first recipient of the ELEPHAS Leadership Award here at MSU Billings. And I'm so stoked to be here and so happy that this award went to Shantelle, because getting to know her, I have found that she's exactly the type of individual I had imagined to receive this award. She's active in the community, she's hardworking, she's a goal setter. So very pleased to be here. Shantelle, if you don't mind, just briefly talking a little bit about yourself, introduction.
Yeah. Hi, I am a senior at MSU Billings, and I am studying liberal studies with an emphasis in psychology and English, and I am a couple months away from graduating. And I am the first recipient of this award, which has been a huge deal for me. It has laid off a lot of financial strife, has allowed me to focus a lot more on my studies, has given me that freedom to do so. And with that, I've been able to focus on my career goals, where I'm trying to go, and I am currently in the process of applying for grad school. I have been given that opportunity to really focus in on that, when in other words I might be a little bit overwhelmed with work, and now I've been able to really focus on what I'm trying to do.
What are you trying to do? What is the goal?
Yeah, I am trying to get my master's in library science with a specific focus in archiving. I want to help preserve historical documents. I want to be able to give people the opportunity to be able to look back on their community, to be able to look at what created the world today for them, to work in either museums or libraries and just contribute in that way. I originally was looking at school counseling, which you knew, and although that is still on the table and it could potentially be another thing I want to work for in the future, it has just kind of started shifting towards library science. So it's
This is a new shift.
New shift.
How recent is this?
Very recent. It's happened about a month ago. No, 2 months ago or so. I was at one of my current jobs, and I had a little bit of free time, and I was thinking about how I don't know why I never considered it. And then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, this is a good idea. Good job, me. So I went for it. And I just feel like it's always been something I've gravitated towards. I spent a lot of time in libraries. Growing up, I worked in a library at Northwest College in Powell when I attended there until I graduated.
Shout out to Northwest, by the way.
Yeah.
Fantastic college.
Yeah, wonderful little place in a little town that does a great job. And I worked at their library there and graduated and had to move on, but it's always been a part of me.
I know you mentioned your jobs, and I think you've had several.
Yes.
What jobs have you had as a student, and what do you currently do?
So I currently am working at Kohl's. I do a position called Omni, which is basically online shopping. People will place orders on the app, and then I will get some of them, and I go shop around the store, pack it, and send it to them, or deliver it to them to their cars if they're in the city. Other than that, I also work at Career and Employment Services. I was an intern there for being a career specialist. And now I am the front desk person as a student worker because I finished my internship and they wanted me to continue employment there. I mostly work on resumes, cover letters, curriculum vitas, anything that they need me to work on. I help create different documents, just anything that they need.
So you're an expert resume,
Yes.
cover letter writer.
Yes. I've gotten it down to a T. It didn't start out that way. When I started doing resumes, I really had to learn what I was doing. And
It's a craft.
Yeah, it helped me a lot. It helped me really learn how to build my own resume, and it helped me have the opportunity to help other people build their resume and other documents. But resumes are huge. You take them everywhere.
Yeah.
They never go away. You're always going to have a resume, you will always carry it with you. So university time is the time to really master your resume, because you're transferring from your starting jobs into your future career, and how you can navigate and build it to help you get there.
Right.
It's a huge deal.
It's such an important piece of paper, and it's always such a challenge to get as much information and detail on there as you can to tell your story without being overwhelming, right?
Yes.
Without getting lost. in the
One
content.
page.
One page.
Try to keep it on one page, and it's hard,
Yeah.
especially if you have a lot of experience and so much to say. You have to know what you can put on there, what you put on a cover letter. A lot of people don't know what cover letters are, and it's a great thing to add to your resume.
It's vital,
Huge.
right? I mean, it can make or break your application.
It introduces you.
Yeah.
It introduces you to those people, as where your resume is more objective. Your cover letter is subjective and
Right.
it's personal. So it gives them like a little taste of who you are, which can give you the upper hand. It's a big deal. Aside from Career and Employment Services, I also spent a year working at the ASC, which is the Academic Support Center here on campus. And I worked as a peer mentor, and I believe they're called peer navigators now. They changed the name up.
Rebranding.
It was peer mentor when I was there, though, so that's what I stick to. And I was given 30 plus students a semester, some of which were freshmen, some were at-risk students whose grades might be below what they consider a safe level to graduate. And I would help them with goal setting, finding the correct resources, reaching out to them to invite them to events, attending events with them, anything that they needed to help them grow, learn about their community at the university, learn the help they can get, and really help them learn how to set goals. It's a huge deal. So I spent a lot of time doing that for my first year. I loved it.
And 30 students, that's a lot of students. Was it ever frustrating? Did you ever find or identify a student that, like a diamond in the rough who you saw so much potential in, but you were unable to make them click or understand, or follow your guidance?
And everybody's a diamond in the rough to me. Every single person has that potential. I don't think there's one student that can particularly stand out because everybody has that same potential to succeed in their lives. It's a huge deal. And so I just like to focus on everybody. I found myself particularly gravitated towards at-risk students, though, because those students likely have something keeping them back, something in the road that's just blocking them, and giving them that one thing they might need to overcome their struggles, like just helping them find a resource. Anything that can potentially help them could really save their academic career. It can get them into their next step in life.
And I think you made a good point, and so useful and helpful, because I think it's something a lot of students, I know I didn't take advantage of the resources available to me, and it's such a simple thing to do and so helpful, and I think it can have a huge impact on students. So I think that's so true, and I think that actually had a huge impact on you, right? And the counselors and the support you received. And do you want to talk a little about that?
Yeah. So I've received a lot of support at the university, at the high school level. At the university currently, I've been receiving a ton of help from TRIO specifically, which has been a program designed to help students who either have a disability, who struggle with financial income, or they're a first-generation student. That is something that I currently have that I can lay back on, and I have been helped with so much. In high school, I received a lot of help from teachers, but particularly I was seeing a school counselor who made a great impact on me and helped me get through a lot of struggles I was going through at the time to reach goals that I was trying to set, and to help me realize that I had goals I wanted to achieve that were beyond where I was at the time. So the huge deal there.
And I think also a teacher kind of identified that maybe you were facing some challenges.
Yes. Yep, my French teacher / creative writing teacher was somebody who made a huge impact on me. In I believe it was junior year of high school, I had a class with her. It was my creative writing, and I was just doing some prompts that we were given, and I think something stood out to her that maybe something wasn't quite right. I was dealing with a lot of depression, and I think I was putting it into my writing in a way that she could start picking up. And she reached out to me and started to help me get more comfortable communicating with her about what was going on, because I was a very closed off person. I didn't know I could really talk to anybody. I held it all to myself, and she was a huge help, and she promised me that she just wanted to help. It was nothing more than that, and that I could open up. And so with her, she helped me get connected to that school counselor, helped me start seeing the school counselor during her own classes. She would excuse me and allow me to have that time to receive the help I needed that she knew would help me grow. So.
And it's so neat to see the system work, to see, because arguably, I mean, if you didn't have those people in your life that recognized the challenges you were facing and kind of helped shift your trajectory, they may very well be one of the big reasons why you're where you are today in university and about to complete your degree.
Yes, I don't know if I'd be where I am without them. They were huge, huge helps to me. Receiving the help that I just needed, just that little push, was a huge, huge step for me to get where I am today. Absolutely.
What challenges were you facing at that time?
I grew up in a home that was strong in the poverty level. There was a lot of financial issues, there was addiction issues, neglect issues, just a lot going on in there. Very chaotic and unpredictable. And growing up in that kind of home, I really had to learn how to still be able to focus on the goals that I wanted to achieve while living in chaos, and learning how to manage that, which is hard. It's hard to really get a grasp on how to do that. And especially financial burdens. When you're younger, you have a hard time getting like the equipment you need for projects. You have a hard time really just getting the things you need, getting help with projects to build them. I didn't really receive help with homework, so I had to really pay attention in school to achieve these goals I wanted to set, which was to do well in school. And so having those as like struggles, they held me back in a lot of ways, and not knowing I could get help kept me back until I learned that that was the thing I could have, and that really helped a lot.
And initially it seems they held you back, but at some point it seems almost as if it became a motivator.
Absolutely, yes. I'm a very, very bullheaded, stubborn person. Very, very stubborn. And I think when something tries to hold me back, I really want to fight to get harder. There more. Yeah. And as somebody who's pretty intuitive, I knew what was right and wrong. And I think when somebody would tell me, like, I don't want you to do that, but I knew it was the right thing to do, I was just like, I'm going to do it even harder now. I'm going to make sure I get there. Absolutely.
And I think, children are so easily impacted or influenced by their environment. And I think an environment like that, arguably you could go one of two ways. You could follow suit and just feel like you don't have opportunity or options, or you could use that as motivation to overcome those challenges, obstacles, and it seems like you obviously chose the latter. Do you think that where you came from is, or where you are now, is a result of the challenges you saw as a youth?
Absolutely. I because of the way I am, all struggles were just something I wanted to overcome to achieve the greatness that I foresee. I don't think every single person is like that. I think there are some people who really struggle with those roadblocks, and those are the people that I want to help out. I've spent a lot of time trying to help out when I worked at the ASC and stuff like that. But for me, anything that gets in the way of my goals is just a motivator to just go harder. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you mentioned earlier when you were at the ASC guiding, helping to advise these troubled students.
Yes.
You mentioned that you had an attraction to the students who maybe were more troubled than the others? And do you think that has to do with your background and where you came from? There was a connection?
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of people may look down on those who struggle. There's a lot of pressure to, receive like good grades. Like people want to be seen positively, and when they're struggling, some people might look down on them. Maybe not intentionally, but conditionally, like they might have been conditioned to think that way. For me, when I see at-risk students, I just see somebody who is currently dealing with a roadblock. There's something in the way to keep them from achieving the goals that they set. They're attending university for a reason. They have a goal, but there's something there that's holding them back. It could be millions of things. However, I relate to that. I went through similar things, and I want to help them achieve greatness. And for me, I want to achieve greatness. I think it's a huge deal. I think it's really important to learn how to overcome those barriers and to use them as like a stepping stone to keep going.
What would you say to other youth students who may be in similar circumstances as you were?
Definitely keep going, keep fighting, get stubborn. You have goals. Everybody has goals. Like, you have this goal in your head, go get it. There is nobody more important in your life than you are. Like, in the end, you are who you have. You are taking care of you. Like, you're the most important person. You have one life. Like, you need to reach the things that you want to do. Like, you can do it. There's no reason to let the world hold you back. Like, you might struggle, so reach out for help. Like, get the help you need. There is so many resources, especially in higher education, but even in high school. Like, I received help with my counselors. There is so much for you. Don't lose sight of that. Just don't let yourself get buried in the mud.
And I think one of the simplest things you can do, at least it seems simple, but I think it's something that a lot of people don't do, is to set goals.
Absolutely.
And to every day, focus on that goal and take little steps towards that goal. So
Yes.
I think that's something that you realized at a young age, because it
Yes.
seems like you've always been very goal oriented.
Absolutely. Huge on the goals. Ever since I was little. I mean, especially academically, I've wanted to perform. Like, I want to do good. I am huge on just reaching goal after goal after goal. And it helps me get through things. Like, if I can set a goal, then I'm going to achieve that goal. Like, it's gonna happen. If I make it, it's gonna happen. And that really did push me through. It pushed me through a lot of struggles, because if I make that goal, then I've solidified it in my brain as it's gonna happen. I'll make it happen. Nothing's gonna stop me.
And I know one of your goals for the semester is a 4.0. I know you reached 4.0 GPA last semester. So
Yeah.
Congratulations to that. And you are going to complete your degree at the end of this semester. How's your family feel about all of this?
Not particularly fantastic. My family is not very much pro higher ed. They're not really focused on school. They don't really believe that school is beneficial. However, I always saw school as beneficial. I've liked school since I was little, and I knew ever since elementary school I was going to go to college. It was already in the goals. I was just a tiny tot, and I was already having big dreams. And as I got older, there was a lot more pressure of, no, you shouldn't go, don't go to college. You're going to be wasting money. You're not going to achieve anything that you want. And there's no point in getting a degree. And they're gonna change you. And I'm just okay, I have goals that I can't achieve without college. The career goals that I have in mind are university oriented. In order to get there, I have to go to college.
At what age did you recognize this?
Very young. I realized college was for me from a very young age. I've always been attracted to higher ed. I think it's always been just something there. Knowing that a career required college for me Probably high school. I mean, I started considering all sorts of different things in high school of what I wanted to do, and like psychology based and English based were always like huge for me. And both things with what I wanted to do just they required it. That being said, not everybody has that need. So like some people are huge on like starting their own business, and they don't particularly need it. Although it can be beneficial, they're not always needing it. And that's fantastic, but for me, I did. And my family, extended and close, not super supportive.
But
Yeah.
it's almost as if the more they said you can't do it, the more Shantelle said, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
It's almost
Absolutely.
like that they motivated you in a sense. I mean,
Yes.
to go for it.
Yes.
Because, and is that with everything? I mean, if someone says you can't do it, Shantelle, you can't do it, does
I'm-
that encourage you more
I'm gonna do
to
it.
prove them wrong and to show
Yes.
them that you can do it?
Yes, anytime they say I can't do something, I'm gonna make sure I do it. Like if it's something that I see as a good and positive, influential thing in my life, I'm going to make sure I get there, and it's not gonna get blocked off for me. I was like that trying to get my associates, and then getting my bachelor's. Currently, I'm still dealing with that, and now I'm applying for grad school, to go get my master's, and still dealing with that. And I'm sure in the future, if that happens, maybe I'll be even more inspired to keep going further than that. Huge motivator. I'm very motivated by those who tell me I can't do it, because I know I can.
So, note, if there's anything you want Shantelle to do, tell her she can't do it.
Absolutely. I agree with that statement.
5 years from now, I mean, where do you see yourself? I mean, goal-oriented person, you must look into the future sometimes and think about where you'll be.
I don't have particular goals like geographically where I want to go. I'm not sure where I'm headed. For the next few years, especially while I'm achieving my master's, I'm planning on sticking around, here. However, I kind of want to see where the wind takes me. There's so many places I'd love to see. There's so many places I'd love to contribute to. I'm not sure. However, I do know that I am wanting to have a home. I'm wanting to build like my family. I'm wanting to have a great career that I can have for, the rest of my career life, and to be able to settle down and to start contributing money into myself and my future spouse and potential future kids and into the community. Like I want to be able to settle down and focus in more so on my career in my home, and yeah.
If you could go anywhere, is there a place on the map, domestically or internationally, where you would love to go?
I'm not 100% sure. I want to visit a lot of places. I've always been very intrigued by Japan. I'd love to visit Japan. I'm not sure about live there. I haven't visited. I need to go visit. I need to hang out there for a little while. And then I'd love to go visit like a place like Arizona. And I lived in Portland for a short period of time, and I liked Portland. And they're all different, so many different places.
Is Portland the only place you've been outside of Montana?
I grew up in Wyoming, so
That's
out
right.
in Powell,
Yeah.
super close, and grew up there. And then I've gone to Montana to Billings growing up, and I've visited like Idaho once, but outside of that, I grew up so close in this area, and although I love this area for it being my home, there's a world to see.
Yeah.
There's so much I want to find that community that I can build into my future home.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure quite yet. Yeah.
And there's plenty of time.
There's
and
so
I
much
encourage you to go see the world.
Yeah.
Go see the U.S. I haven't seen enough of the U.S.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much. It's a beautiful place.
Any parting words? Anything else you want to say?
I think I got them all out.
Okay. Shantelle, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I'm so pleased to see this award go to someone like you. I'm very excited to see where your path leads you. I'm absolutely confident that you'll do something that is beneficial to the community and to people, and whether it's in the library or as a counselor. So
Yeah, and absolutely thank you to you too. You have done a lot of contributions for a lot of people, and like for me personally, you've helped so much, and for the future students that you put like your awards into, you're going to be helping them so much more than you know. And you've also helped the community so much. You're such a wonderful, open person, and I love that. So,
I appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Billings, thank you. This is ELEPHAS Civic Leadership Award recipient Shantelle Nalley, and we'll have more awards in the future. You know, I value education, I value higher education, and if I can make a small dent and help students achieve their goals, it's well worth it. So stay tuned, you'll see more recipients in the future. Cheers.